Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Thank you all. Good evening. The decision to remove Saddam Hussein from power was controversial. We did not find the weapons of mass destruction that we all believed were there. And that's raised questions about whether the sacrifice in Iraq has been worth it. Despite setbacks and missteps, I strongly believe we did and are doing the right thing.
I came away thinking that the challenge is still immense, but I also came away more certain than ever that we should rise to it. And though it is at times daunting, it is also utterly inspiring to see people from all the different parts of the community in Iraq, the Sunni, the Shia, the Kurds, sitting down together, all of them democratic leaders, democratically elected by their people.
Because of the political opinion polls, you know? And I appreciate that steadfast saying, bring it on. Kind of tough talk, you know, that sent the wrong signal to people. That I learned some lessons about expressing myself maybe in a more sophisticated manner. You know, wanted dead or alive, that kind of talk. I think in certain parts of the world it was misinterpreted. And so I learned from that. And you know, I think the biggest mistake that's happened so far, at least from our country's involvement in Iraq, is Abu Ghraib.
Right. But the fact is you have been standing up Iraqi forces in great numbers, the administration's...
I think that probably in retrospect, though at the time it was very difficult to argue this, we could have done the de-Baathification in a more differentiated way than we did.
Sure is sufficient to be able to enable the Iraqis to take more of the fight. They are taking more of the fight. I have said to the American people, as the Iraqis stand up, we'll stand down. But I've also said that that our commanders on the ground will make that decision. And I will talk to General Casey once he is conferred with the new government of Iraq. They don't have a defense minister yet. They're in the process of getting a defense minister, so it's probably makes a lot of sense for our commander on the ground to wait until their defense structure is set up before we discuss with them, and he with me, the force levels necessary to achieve our objective, tells me, and that is the Iraqis are becoming better and better fighters. And at some point in time, when he feels like...
For that to happen, obviously the first thing that we need is a strong government in Baghdad that is prepared to enforce its writ throughout the country. My very strong feeling, having talked to the leaders there, is that they intend theirs to be such a government.
You know, I understand what it means to have troops in harm's way. That the Iranians walked away from the table, and that I think we ought to be continuing to work on ways to make it clear to them that they will be isolated. And one way to do that is to continue to work together through the United Nations Security. If they suspend and have the IAEA in there making sure that the suspension is real, then of course we'll talk about ways forward. Incentives.
No, look, what we want to do is to make sure that the UN is an effective instrument of multilateral action. But that's what everyone wants to see. And the fact is there are multiple problems in the world. They require the international community to respond on a collective basis, but you've got to have an effective set of multilateral institutions to do that.